In order to introduce you to forward positive momentum and the 5 dimensions of the self, we're going to introduce to you the sailboat metaphor by Scott Barry Kaufman, Ph.D. The sailboat metaphor was created by Scott Barry Kaufman to better explain the dynamic nature of how we, as human beings, function within the shifting situations of our lives. Traditionally, many would still and do refer to Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a source of inspiration to live a better life, also as a road to success, a map, if you will. While Maslow's hierarchy does in fact illustrate the basic needs of every human being, it was never meant as a definitive guide by which to live your life. The truth is much different than what is being taught academically. In fact, as we shall soon discover, fact really is stranger than fiction. Maslow meant to describe the fundamental human needs that we all have in order to reach our fullest potential, or self-actualization as he called it. Pop culture, however, has given us a different twist on this, creating a hierarchy of competition so that each person strives towards self-actualization by mastery of the level below, much like a video game. Carl Rogers, the father of the person-centered approach to psychotherapy, shared in Maslow's holistic understanding of the human psyche. Maslow, it seems, portrayed the view that we as human beings carry around a vast potential to become a force in our own lives. We just need to find the resources and the guidance to begin to actualize the true version of ourselves. Rogers believed in the concept of positive unconditional regard, as well as having his patients initiate productive internal dialogue in order to come to deeper realizations about themselves. In essence, the counselor becomes a collaborator rather than an outside observer. Maslow also understood that human beings are multidimensional and that potentials varied over the course of emotional events and circumstances. Here at ADAPT, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Both are valuable visual aids but have different applications. Maslow's hierarchy helps us to understand the basic requirements for human beings to function, to succeed, to live, and to thrive, while the sailboat metaphor helps us to integrate and visualize those things into an understanding of the causal nature of our progression towards what Maslow described as self-actualization. If we dig a little deeper, it also helps us to understand the effects of those interactions as well. Kaufman sought to integrate the sailboat model with Maslow's hierarchy to demonstrate the compatibility of these two ideas. He streamlined the essential concepts and thus developed a working model as you can see on the screen. In fact, Kaufman points out that Maslow never formatted his hierarchy of needs as a pyramid in the first place, but rather, as Maslow put it, we are perpetually in a state of becoming, and rather exist in a sea of potentialities. Again, Maslow never meant for his theory to describe a venerable ascent to the top, or any concept of life as a race to the top. The model needed to address something fundamental about human nature, fluidity, and dynamism. In all reality, it would seem that the sailboat model that we have shown you is in truth most likely the hierarchy that Maslow had in mind all along. The sailboat metaphor, then, is a new way to put some sense into what it means to be a human doing, a human functioning, and a human being. Introducing the sailboat metaphor. Life is more than a video game. It's a journey fraught with victory, defeat, danger, fear, love, happiness, and sadness, and the whole range of human emotions and experiences. In a video game, we defeat the enemy and graduate to the next level, and ultimately beat the game. In life, on the other hand, there is no next level. It's a constant surge of differing states. It is an ocean. We are the sailboat navigating the sea of life. We're not always alone. At times, our sailboat is at odds with the other ships on the sea, and at other times, it is a beautiful harmony of naval exceptionality. thus the integration of our social relationships. Our feelings and emotions dictate our direction, and thus the compass shows us the direction of our travels, while we turn the wheel according to our values. How far we go and how we get there is determined by how we cope with the leaks that sometimes happen on our boat, the leaks on the boat being the symbol of our weaknesses. We fix the leaks over time and become resilient. Sometimes we don't, and thus we may suffer from a chronic deficiency related to that uncultivated weakness. The sails represent our strengths. It's the integration of our strengths and weaknesses where FBM comes into play, and later the 5 dimensions of self. The weather in general, but sometimes the seas get stormy. These represent the events of our lives. And finally, the destination represents our goals and our aspirations. And the new dimension, forward positive momentum, is derived when we can convert our weaknesses into new strengths. While we won't be doing an in-depth look at the 5 dimensions of self in this video, that would be impossible. We're going to look quickly at what the 5 dimensions of self consist of, or where do you get your forward positive momentum? Ambition, motivation, self-confidence, self-esteem or self-worth, and situational awareness. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video today. We hope you found it fun and informative, and maybe you learned something new. In the future, we're going to be releasing the field guide to forward positive momentum, but in the very distant future. For now, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.